But it will.
They had the most recent case. She come home. She said Johnson County called, and I don't know what line it was. Kind of his family. Second day, his daughter. That changes the whole protocol. And they can't find it. So they called Johnson City, Johnson City. And got a OBGYN labor delivery doctor. Hawkins case said they said just in case. They sent another helicopter to Watauga to intercede and make it.
I read it. Ain't got no sense.
So they took the lady, which is another line, boom, that they'd already called. Boom, and told them, here's all the work, here's your blood work, here's your They crossed state lines, 2 helicopters, but $5. I said, that's gonna be $1 million. It's the ground, and we're gonna pay for this one too. But that had her all spun. And what's good, the old one's like Charlotte, she's no retirement 2 years ago. She's seen it. So, she'll know it's a change. The old ones, the new ones come in, that they don't know. Bottom line is, we're going to have 8 nurses on the street. You'll see. Well, there's still going to be, from what I understand, and I got a feeling. Special. It's that rain. I got rain case. Trying to see. There ain't gonna be no talking. Your horse will go over. Have your time. I've been knowing for That's right. I would have thought about it. And it's just it's all about cost savings. It's going to suffer. Don't want to Connor. He's I think you guys are nice about it. It's still very fun. It's sad. Or do they? Yeah. I'm in a hole right now.
Let's go ahead and get some meetings started. Running a little bit late. I've heard that before. We'll call the meeting to order, and I want to recognize a few folks that have joined us today. Certainly Jeff Bobo with the Kingsport Times News. We appreciate him coming out. We've got Don Hurst with the State ECD that's we certainly appreciate the effort that he puts in every day with us, seems like. We got Calvin Clifton with the Mattern and Craig, the engineering firm that's with us today. We've got, two county commissioners, Valerie Lawrence and Nancy Barker. Thank you all for showing interest in what we're doing. We got Glenn Hutchins with the, city of Rogersville. We've got our state representative, Gary Hicks, with us today, and for the first time, and we're certainly pleased to have our new mayor, Jim Lee, with us today. So I hope I'm not missed anybody. Clay Walker will be on the program here in a few minutes with the networks, but we'll go ahead and, did everyone receive a copy of the minutes of the October 25th meeting? Is there any corrections? Do I have a motion that we accept them as mailed? Got a motion from Bill and Tommy, second from Tommy. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Rebecca, if you would go over the financial, reports.
Beginning balance October the 25th at $23,863.17. One deposit from WIA Career First for $12.30, and this was a credit that AT&T had refunded WIA for their closeout of the program. We had one check for $234.20 to the Hawkins County General Fund, and that was part of the WIOA program. And then we had our normal U.S. Bank Visa activities. We had another check to Hawkins County General Fund for $143.47, and that was to close the program completely out with the mayor's office. And then Osage Printing for Christmas dinner invitations, and then a Visa activity for Lady Hawkins, giving us a balance today, $19,688.31. One CD for $6,124.25 at Citizen. And I do want to just remind everybody that all these activity checks and the Osage Printing, all of that is reimbursed by RITA. And I have not sent that in yet, but when I do, it will be reimbursed to us.
They're reimbursed by Rita.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any questions, any more comments concerning the financials? If not, I hear a motion that we
So
accept this
moved.
for our records. All in favor, need a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, so moved. Last month, I know there was two or three of us that attended the Governor's Economic Development Conference, and Governor Lee was there, representing the county.
Governor Lee, just for
That's close,
Yeah.
2022.
Is he getting ready to run?
But I thought it was a very, very good conference, and like I say, I know just in speaking with, I wanted to call it the governor again, mayor, down there introduced to a lot of people that we deal with on a daily basis in economic development, through the development districts and through the, U.S. Department of Agriculture, TVA, the state. That's a good ground zero, I guess, for meeting all these people that we deal with. And so I really appreciate the mayor taking time out of his many meetings and everything to come down and be with us. And I thought it was a very, very good meeting this time. Moving into the meeting, I guess the first thing on the agenda that I wanted to mention to you is Elizabeth Price. She finished up, she worked almost the entire month of October closing down the WIOA program that we ran for about 30 years with no pay. She basically didn't get anything, but I don't know how they expected this to happen, but basically she closed it all down. We wrote all the checks. We ended up writing one check to Hawkins County for $100 and some dollars that after 30 years, we cleared everything up and paid the county off, and, so we're out of the business now. So we have invited, Elizabeth to join us for our Christmas dinner next week, so you all can thank her for stepping back in that role and finishing everything up. As I say again, with no pay, so.
Yes.
Anyway, on the committee reports, we've been working with the development district. We talked with Ken Ray, talked with him again day before yesterday. Mattern and Craig and Calvin Clifton have been meeting with Scoresville Utility District. And I know Rebecca has attended a meeting with the Appalachian Regional Commission to try to get grant money to fix the tank, put in some valves, put in some looping for the water system for all the industries that's there, and that would go way into the future. And so, I think Calvin is meeting with Scoresville again to discuss, applying for that. That grant that Rebecca and Ken Ray with the Development District are working on has to be submitted by the 7th of
Yes.
December, which is next week. So, but it may take, a year or so to get through the process. But if you don't get it in, we miss the window of opportunity. And so, we're working feverishly. We had a meeting this morning for about an hour discussing, how to proceed with this thing. I think we've got a game plan together. Hopefully this will sustain the water situation inside the Phipps Bend Industrial Park for many years to come down the road. So, appreciate all the help that Matt and Craig and Calvin with his, unlimited experience that he's got in water situation has just been invaluable to us in helping out with that situation. I got a call this week that the street lighting is all completed now at Phipps Bend, and I thank them for the hard work of getting that done. And so I've not been back up there. I've been up there at night to see the first hype. I've not been up there to see the last hype. So I'm assuming that it looks good and it's bright now all the way down.
Much needed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, we want to thank Host Electric for completing that project. And like I say, it's been a much needed thing, and I'm glad that we were able to get it done. Project Progressive. We give these companies these names so nobody knows who they are, and so basically we've been working with Project Progressive now for several months, and things are still on track. I think probably we're looking in the spring now, but I think this is always something that I think confuses a lot of people. I reckon they think that you could put together a $50 million project or a $70 million project in a month or two's time. Before companies are willing to commit to spend that kind of money, that some of these projects, it takes months and months and sometimes years. And this one, I suspicion is going to run into a year at least of talking and negotiating and all of the dynamics that they deal with, especially being a foreign concern, is amazing. And so we have been in contact with them this month, and they're saying maybe late spring now. I'm sure they've got people that are working on this project, and I thank Network so much and Rebecca for the work that they put into keeping these things on track. We can get them on track, and it doesn't take much to veer off on a sidetrack either. And so we're still it's still moving, it still looks very positive, I think, so, I thank them. I spoke yesterday with the auditors. The Phipps Bend audit is being prepared as we speak. It should be available for the Phipps Bend Joint Venture Management Committee, hopefully, within the next couple of weeks. And so, this will be made available to any of you all that would want to look at, the money that's spent through that organization. I guess for the benefit of some of the new people, the Phipps Bend Management Committee oversees the park and is made up of people from the Hawkins County Industrial Board and the Kingsport Economic Development Board. And so they make up the management committee, and they've got their own budget, and much of what's spent in the park is spent through that group, and it doesn't cost the county anything, anything like that. So, I mentioned the ARC grant that we're working with Ken Ray on. Rebecca, what other items do you have that you got? I know you just submitted an application. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I just submitted an application to the state for the SDG grant, which is a site development grant, and this is for the large lot property in Phipps Bend, lots 11, 17, and 18. And the grant is going to pay for just under $100,000 grant, and it's going to pay for some due diligence that hopefully Madam and Craig will be doing on the property to tell us what's good with the property, what needs attention to the property to get it ready for a larger industry to come and locate there. So we got a notice yesterday that said if we make the short list on the application that we'll have to go make a presentation. I think it's in January, is that correct? Do you know? I think it's January the 10th.
As I mentioned last month, TVA was able to get they're not just an accounting firm, KPMG, to fly in there and do an assessment of the site for us, and we got a real positive response. They were very impressed. It's going to be a site of almost 100 acres of flat land where all utilities and everything are available. It's just almost unheard of in East Tennessee, and so they were very impressed with their fly-in and the report that they sent back to us, and so it went very well. And with this grant, if we were able to get it, that's the first step in applying for other grant monies through state, TVA, and what other sources may be out there to get the sewer line moved off the site and to get the big swell that needs to be filled in, and hopefully the water situation will have been taken care of before then too. So this is just step one, I guess, in getting a lot of things done up there that need to be done. And like I say, a lot of efforts already going into that, and so we'll know in January whether or not we made the first cut on that. What else?
We are now, Hawkins County is now one of the first in Northeast Tennessee to be a certified LGBT work-ready community. And this will be announced at the First Tennessee Development District press conference. All the mayors is invited to attend there. And so I think Gabrielle and I is going to be making a little press release speech at that conference on that day there about this. And so this is really exciting for us. This is this basically says that you have a certified workforce here. So when you have companies that want to come in, that's one of the big things that they want to know is if you've got the workforce. I mean, they like the incentives and everything, but if you don't have the workforce, then they don't want to talk to you. So you've got to gotta make sure that you have the workforce. And we did a regional thing where all of Northeast Tennessee is hopefully getting certified for this, because we don't just gather our workforce just from Hawkins County. We get it from Sullivan County, Greene County, Hamlin County, all the way up into Virginia and Kentucky and around. So our workforce comes from all areas up here in this region. So we're really excited about this, though.
Well, this is, something I know that, we committed to back, 3 years ago or 4,
What?
the, working toward this,
No, this was only, we've only been doing this for just, slightly over a year now. We had 2 years to complete it,
oh,
so.
okay. But Gabrielle with Cooper Standard and Rebecca have spent countless hours in classes and everything else to try to get this, so it's accolades to their efforts to get this for Hawkins County, and so it's a great thing. Thank you so much. I would mention, the Canadian company, issues, they want to move some doors around and some different things, with the building, and they're already talking about expanding and knocking the back wall out and adding more to it, so, I know a lot of people I run into on the street, they go, what's going on with that? I haven't seen the activity. Well, they're, at the same time that we were dealing with them, they were in the process of buying another company. And so they have put much of their resources over toward that. And so now they're back on our project, and, they got the building secured and everything. And so they are working now with, a local design build out company to build out the thing, and so, my understanding is equipment's already arriving.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their, finish date is or anything, but we are,
It's arriving and being stored in one of the local warehouses.
Right. So I'm glad to report that is up and going, and hopefully within a few months they'll get things, where they want to start hiring people. Have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
About covered everything. Clay, tell us about what's going on with network.
Thanks. Again, I just wanted to, as Larry was talking about Project Progressive and the slowdown of projects, I think he makes some valid points. I mean, a lot of things happen during the process that you have to keep in mind. The marketplace changes in the industry, and they're in a hurry, then they're not, then they're in a hurry. Also legislation, some of the tariffs have affected how that company's going to operate in particular. And they're trying to run a business at the same time. So a lot of things do happen to slow them down, but we're still in touch with them, and I think everything's going well with that. I wanted to echo also on what Larry, and I haven't done this in this meeting enough, but to also point out, Don, we're at the end of the year, and Don Hurst is, I don't know, Don, if you track how many hours you put in county by county.
But, 1.5 a year.
But I'll bet you Don puts in of his work week a good 8 hours of work on Hawkins County, which is pretty good because Don only really works about 16 hours a week. So that's really good.
I'm to work every day by 11 a.m.
Yeah. But he makes up for it by going home early. So anyway, but now Don, you've done such a good job for us, and we wouldn't have been able to accomplish any of these things without your help along the way.
And even when Don's not the front person, if it's a project manager from Nashville up, Don's behind the scenes talking to the, it used to be called Loan and Grant Committee, I'm not sure what, the incentive board, in Nashville and championing our projects. So he doesn't do it to be recognized, but it's still right to recognize him. Our new projects are kind of slow, and that's not unusual for this time of the year, but frankly, it's been a little slower than I would like for the past couple months. Elections have a lot to do with that, the midterms, and no matter what happens, I've been doing this 25 years, and they always slow down for elections like they're waiting for, and then they pick back up afterwards, no matter what happens, but they still slow down. I don't know if it's potential Armageddon or what, but hopefully things will pick up. I was in the parking lot, so I'm a little late. I was going back and forth texting with a project manager on a project with a consultant that's picking up steam. So, but the existing industry has been very active, and lots of good things happening in the companies that are in Phippsbend, in Hawkins County, and all of Northeast Tennessee. Larry mentioned we went to the governor's conference. That was a really, I don't know, Mayor, about your impressions of the conference. I may have seen you guys, and I had so many things going on in my mind. If anybody was there and I ignored them walking past them, I apologize. There were a whole lot of things going on during that week. Rebecca was also, along with Dana and myself, in Gatlinburg for a TEDC conference, Tennessee Economic Development Council. One of the consultants we've been working a project with is was there presenting and really echoed a lot of things we have seen in terms of workforce and just issues facing all economic developers. One of the things I thought was very interesting that he said, and he said, I know you all are worried about your workforce issues hurting you on projects. Don't worry about it. Everybody is having the same issues, and they are. I look at things like that, though, that are everybody's problems, as opportunities for us to step up and differentiate ourselves. And is John Burdine not here today? One time?
No, he had another
With John Burdine and the way he works with Jeff McCord and the folks at Arcan, our workforce development, again, I've done this a long time, and I've never seen a region better poised to do customized advanced manufacturing training than we are here. And I think as Workforce Titans, that's what we try to show. And it made a huge difference in RMC. I mean, when they walked through the Arcan, it didn't hurt with the French Canadian, and Jeff McCord was speaking French. So I don't know what he said, but it must have worked. I'm going to be going next week to Nashville to hang out with a bunch of consultants, what I do a lot of time, at Economics. It's a great conference. I also talking about the KPMG visit, and TVA made that happen for us through a program of theirs. That visit, we kind of were able to shortcut, and without that visit, we wouldn't have been eligible for the grant we're working on to eliminate the problem with the creek we have in our large site. So Tim Tidwell was creative about that, and again, the grant was turned in. We'll hopefully go to present, and also shout out to Michael Parker for his work on the grant with Rebecca. While we were in Gatlinburg, having fun and learning things and working with state ECD, Michael stayed back and did a lot of work on that grant. And doing that work and having KPMG could move us forward in certifying the site if we see need to next year. Internally at Networks, this afternoon when I get back to the office, I'm going to make an offer for candidate for our administrative assistant position. Y'all may recall that Brian Ritz left us to go into the private sector. We promoted Dana Glenn from within to, in addition to marketing, she handled administrative work. Now, in addition to marketing, she's handling project management and oversight. So we hired we're going to hire an administrative assistant, so we hope to have that in-house. Without getting into every 30 detail, because some of you don't care, and others already know about it anyway, or whatever. It didn't take too long to get into it. But long story short, I signed an extension with Networks, which basically we've recommitted to each other for another 4 years, and I couldn't be happier about that. Which leads us to a big part of that was about all the talk of regionalism and different firms or different groups with different ideas and ad hoc committees and self-appointed committees. You know, we've had plans to broaden our regional ties, and one thing I do like about all the chatter that we've heard, there's been a lot of misinformation that I never liked that, but the interest in it has brought some things to the forefront, and Networks, we're working on our way to deal with things, and there'll be more information coming up on that, but this could be a good opportunity, I think, for all of Northeast Tennessee to do very well in doing things a little different. We're not advocating throwing out a baby with the bathwater. So you know, we have that and a lot of things to the grant. We're starting some grant work in PP2 in Bristol to get a rail site. There's a new TDOT grant we're pursuing there. We have project activity has since been slow, hopefully be picked up now that the elections are behind us. I'm so looking forward to 2019, but you know, if you just take a moment and look back to 2018 with Miyake's opening their doors and the announcement of RMC, Advanced Technologies, which is a cool company. I can't wait to see the robots on the floor working there. And I think among the highlights are Rebecca's great work with the existing industry program. So you just look back and it's just been a lot of work done this year, a whole lot of work. And you know, the one thing we want to continue to work on is that big site and getting it as pad ready as we can get it. And you know, heck, when you look back, I mean, that's really the big thing when you look at what we wanted to accomplish when we started this partnership, what our goals were. And I think, again, we can't be overstate or talk about enough. We sold the spec building for crying out loud. So that was pretty good. I know Larry was very happy that. So anyway, it's been a great year. I guess we've worked together now for 3 years and change, and it's been a tremendous partnership. And if people want to look how regional partnerships can work well, I don't think they need to look any further than Networks and Hawkins County IDB. I'm just proud to be amongst you, and so thanks for continuing it, and great year, and I think we could have a better one next year.
Thank you, Clay. I would reiterate the same thing. It's been a great partnership and it's been good for Networks. It's been great for Hawkins County, and so we're moving on. I know the other day, and I don't want to put Gary on the spot, but there was a public hearing in Bulls Gap concerning Highway 66, and I was tied up that evening and didn't get over. Where we at on that deal?
So the meeting was particularly so that folks, if you remember back in March of 2017, we actually had a public hearing meeting at Bulls Gap, and so the plans were laid out for the road, and really there was a lot of public, I guess, a lot of folks weren't happy with the way the road looked. And so what we did is we got everybody together. TDOT took those concerns, went back to the drawing board, so to speak, and really kind of redesign the whole project. And so that's what we did, the other, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, was to get back together so that everyone could see the plans of the newly designed road. And I think everyone's gonna be pleased with it. I think everybody's excited. Of course, now the question is, okay, when are you gonna get started? So probably looking, hopefully, somewhere around a year out before they'll start, procuring land and start purchasing land. And so, still got a little bit of a ways to go, but it's definitely, this project was passed, when the Improve Act was passed, this particular project was in the Improve Act.
Right.
So now it's just a matter of waiting for funding to come available. It's not that is it gonna be funded, it's when the funding becomes available before we proceed. And I'm hoping that's gonna be within a year, and we can start purchasing the property. But that was the big takeaway, was just letting everyone see the redesign of the road.
But we're already paying that extra money on it every time we buy a gallon of gas on it.
There you go.
Make sure of that.
And they're still not fixing the
So
road.
the funding's available, it's just a matter of getting it prioritized.
Right.
And the new, fairly new, state representative, and much percentage of voters you got, he got, you guys better get something done. When I had hair and I was a young man, I like to see it done before I die.
Me too. I'm with
You can help with this?
You know, 10
I'm
years,
on the short list now.
10 years ago, it was ABC, you remember that?
Yeah, now, that's one thing, I wanna make sure that folks don't get that confused, because
Right.
this is totally a separate
This is-
project.
this
You're
is
right, so,
widening the
right, this is
66.
simply widening that to what's called a super tube. So they're gonna widen the road, put a
That's
big
right.
shoulder on it. So the option C, which you're talking about, yeah, that's still on the books down there. It's still in the engineering phase, which it's been since I can ever remember.
Of course, guns are right now.
Look, there's actually operations going around talking to property owners now.
Right. I understand on the project that you're talking about, it's 11E project.
Yeah,
And A, B, and C phases, and I understand that the phase coming out of Marshtown has already been engineered and things, and so they're moving on this way. So hopefully the folks at Barrett, yes. Barrett and Barrett, I can't, anyway, can get that road through there for the benefit of those folks. At the last meeting, we had talked to, and made a resolution to send to Mayor Lee, asking that Bill Lyons be put on that voting committee to vote on these projects, and that he would attend the meetings, and I think Calvin Clifton would be replacing Dave Wilson. And so I think with those and getting and I know our mayor's gonna be involved in being there, and Laurel Bean, and so hopefully these road projects and things that we need like that will be more available to us. So we're about to figure out kind of how this thing operates through the regional, Tennessee Development District, all that stuff.
If I could interject, I attended that meeting with Lowell,
Yeah,
and it struck me, point blank, that if you're not there, and a lot of people had their county mayor sent a designee to their state.
yeah,
They also had proxy votes
right.
that were controlled by county mayors. But some of those other counties and cities, whatever, sent 4 to 5 people.
Yeah.
And you could see it's effective to be there. To be not there, or not to be there, you're not gonna get a thing. You're not even gonna get talked about. Not good or bad. But it's amazing, they voted on a sidewalk project, as small as that would be considered. Greenville, big population, big city, big everything, compared to Sneed. But the development district speaker said, now let's get this straight. In Greenville, this money would go to putting down pretty brick sidewalks in an area that already has sidewalks. Sneeville had done a little presentation. It was a sidewalk for safety, so people could walk to the hospital and to a school. Now, you'd think that if horsepower means anything, that Greenville's gonna get it. That crowd said no. It needs to go to safety and to the have-nots before the others get something. And we're pretty much a have-not area right here sometimes. We get forgotten. Sometimes you gotta teach John Horny to get hurt.
Well,
It's
that's what
important to be there.
That's great. I think that's the thing is now that we can kind of figure this thing out, we got people that will actually go and speak. you know.
And like Chris Craig is the overall, and then he has 2 or 3 assistants that take care of this kind of issue.
Right.
But he can't speak just because he had some ties down
Right.
here. He can't just say, well, no, he's gotta stay neutral. But you're there to tell your story. It's important.
Like I say, I think that's great. Mayor, anything? Appreciate you coming, Valerie and Nancy, appreciate you all serving. And, anybody else have anything for good of Hawkins County? Hearing none.
I make a motion, we resign.
Yeah, we stand adjourned.
Somebody makes that motion about me every time on this board meeting.
Every time.
Well, we're out there.
If he's not here, we kind of always around like that. He's gonna
Yeah.
work.
Go on back. Well, that's just George. I got more to do.